For everyone who hasn't been living under a rock, Candace Owens was dismissed, if you will, from the Daily Wire, or fired, really. I mean, they didn't want to say that, but that's basically what happened. And there's been a debate over why exactly she was fired and what led to it and what the main reason was for it. Um, Most people think, including myself, that it was over her takes on Israel and the U.S.'s support, specifically when it comes to the Israel-Hamas war. Now, as somebody who isn't like super knowledgeable on the subject, I don't really want to get into it because I need to do more research. But I kind of hold two opinions here on it. The first one being that I know Israel, from at least a biblical standpoint, is God's chosen people, and so we are supposed to support them. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to support everything they do. In fact, it probably is good to be critical of them at some times, and so that's where my ideals with especially Ben Shapiro would definitely differ, and I would probably align more with Candace on that regard. But this is also bringing in some questions about, well, is the Daily Wire then actually free speech platform, or is it just free speech confined, so not free speech? It's kind of been going around ever since the news broke that Candace has split ways with Daily Wire. So I just wanted to read an article here because Megyn Kelly actually interviewed Ben, and I just wanted to see what his excuse, if you will, was this time. It says Megyn Kelly questions Ben Shapiro on critics who say Daily Wire is the only free speech until it comes to Israel. I mean, after this story broke, I'm kind of feeling the same thing. It's like, after, as somebody who, for the most part, I mean, I like bits and pieces of what all the guys there do. I do appreciate the different takes that they have. I, from what I've seen of Ben, I obviously don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of what he says I could kind of see myself agreeing with. But now it's just kind of, I don't know why I'm even surprised really, because there's always going to be disagreement on whatever it is when it comes to politics, policies, anything like that. It's really how we handle these situations that determines how well our society is prospering, if you will, which obviously right now it's not. But yeah, after this whole controversy, I've kind of lost a little bit of, I don't want to say respect. I mean, maybe a little bit of respect, but I'm trying to think of what to say here. Not respect, but I feel like the integrity, if you will, of Daily Wire has waned a little bit for me. And so I'm kind of on the fence as to what exactly they support, what they promote as a company. Because, I mean, if they're just going to be like 100% Israel, they can do no wrong, that's obviously just false. And I definitely do not agree with that. But anyway, says Ben Shapiro defended his Daily Wire media company and its commitment to free speech following the departure of host Candace Owens. Owens was let go by Shapiro's The Daily Wire after months of publicly feuding with Shapiro and accusations of anti Semitism as she criticized Israel's conduct in the Israel Hamas war. In an interview with Megyn Kelly from her SiriusXM show, Kelly argued the right likes to eat its own, and she asked whether the Daily Wire supports free speech. I mean, every side likes to eat its own. And this is why this whole right left nonsense is just so over the top. It's just gotten so bad lately. I mean, both sides are just horrible. You just have to look good enough, deep enough, and you'll figure out that, yeah, it's. Let's just say there's a reason why I switched to independent, because while I'm conservative in my views, I think the right and left are just falling apart from the inside out. I mean, it's not even like an opinion at this point, it's just fact. I mean, just look. Just look and you'll see it. But Ben and Candace were also having a internal strife, if you will, over her takes on Jesus and proclaiming him as God, and then Ben, of course, being Jewish, and so they don't believe that Jesus is God. And so whenever Candace was saying Christ is king, Ben was, I don't know, taking offense or something to that as being anti Semitism. And I just hate that it's gotten to this point. And it's like, so does anytime somebody mentions Jesus, it's anti-Semitism? I just don't understand. I mean, of course, every religion is making a truth claim. So therefore, if they're making a truth claim, that just inherently means that the other ones must not be at least 100% correct, right? Because whenever you are making a truth claim, that means that the rest of them must be wrong. It's just how it is. So I guess it could be a little anti-Semitic from the standpoint of you may disagree on who God is or what he does or whatever. But as it like full on anti-Semitism, he hates Jews, they hate Jews because they're making a proclamation of faith. It's just so over the top. It's just such a soft society, which is just so unfortunate. But unfortunately, it's just the way it is nowadays. It says it has spawned into a debate about whether the Daily Wire is pro-free speech. The accusation is you are until it comes to Israel. How do you respond? She asked. It says Shapiro argued the Daily Wire is a publisher and not a platform. Again, doesn't really matter, but okay. He implied there was more than Israel at the center of its split with Owens. What I will say is we have a variety of positions on Israel right now inside the Daily Wire. Matt Walsh is obviously one of the number one hosts of the Daily Wire, and he and I widely disagree on what America's Israel policy should be. Matt is much more of an isolationist, he said. He basically believes the U.S. has no real interest in the Middle East, and thus should not be providing material support to anyone, including the state of Israel. Matt obviously is well within the sort of group of hosts that we have here at the Daily Wire. So clearly whatever is going on is not about Israel specifically. That's really all I have to say about it. I mean, I can see what he's saying here, but I think it's also because Matt, I mean, he just really hasn't been like super prominent on the internet, if you will, with his takes on Israel and things like that. And while he may have stated this, he hasn't gone out and like made a proclamation, if you will, whereas Candace has. So I think it's definitely not 100% the Israel thing. I think it's a mixture of that and then mostly of the Israel and then also of her being more Christian and saying Christ is king on the internet. I think those are the two majority factors in this. I mean, just from what I've seen anyway. But yeah, it's this. I've definitely lost a little bit of faith, if you will, in the Daily Wire. I mean, nowadays you just have to put on your skeptic hat whenever you view anything, especially with AI and everything. I mean, we have to be safe out there, guys. I mean, there's just so much online phishing and just everything else out there just trying to skew information, propaganda, trying to get you to believe something, trying to get you to give away your money. I mean, there's so many crypto scams. I mean, they've been around forever, but with AI, it's even more prominent. And when you have stuff like this, just be skeptical of what you read. I had to read around at a couple of articles before I did this, trying to get an understanding of all the points. I still don't even know. That's why I'm just kind of giving like a vague overview of what I think is going on here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whole Candace Owen thing. I know I made a video on it, but we got this interview where at least Ben was able to shed a little more light, if you will, if you even want to call it that, on the situation. And I just want to hear what other people think about it, really, if this is really about her take on Israel, because I think it's majority that and then also her being a Christian. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like and I hope to see you guys around. Peace.